Workshop meeting for Verona Borough Council for Tuesday, May 28th, 2019. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Kenna.
President Ricky Bell.
Here.
Mr. Conti. Here. Dr. Carpenter. Present. Ms. Lualbo.
Here.
Mr. McCarthy. Here. Ms. Provenza.
Here.
Mr. Suchevich.
Here.
Mayor Recupero.
Here.
I'm also here.
Okay, no registered comments. Council will now hear comments from the public on the agenda-related items. Please approach the podium, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Okay. Mr. Kenna.
Okay, I just have a couple things. First of all, it's not on the agenda, but I wanted to bring it up because it came up after the agenda came out. So, Matt has been working with Penn Hills for the 2nd Street paving. So because Penn Hills owns from Shannon down, we are running the contract, we're putting out the bid, we put out the bid, we're paying it, Penn Hills is reimbursing us for their area of the road. The township manager for Penn Hills reached out to Matt today. He would like us to add an alternate addition to it to see how much extra it would be for Penn Hills to cover the cost of removing the island and just getting rid of it completely at the bottom of 2nd. Matt reached out to me to see what I thought about that. I don't really see a downside to it. I wanted to bring it up to the board to see, do you guys have an objection to it? Keeping in mind, it's Penn Hills, so really we don't have any choice. If Penn Hills decides to do it on their own, they're gonna just do it. But what we can do is say, if we really have a strong feeling against it, we could say that we're not gonna add it to our bid. We end up maintaining it most of the time. I think Verona people have been painting it for decades. It needs maintenance now. And I think Penn Hills is thinking, instead of putting it back together because it's in bad shape, just pull it out. Does anybody have an objection to that?
Nope, I don't.
I think it would be nice if that did happen, that we put some kind of a little raised island. Just a
smaller
little,
one. It's
people
just
coming down and,
something that doesn't need any maintenance.
right, exactly, just like a little beveled curb or something like that.
Yeah, so Matt,
I don't have an objection to it.
what he's working on now, he's gonna go there tomorrow or this week and actually take a look at it and see if there's an elevation difference, because he's thinking that island actually might be serving as a retaining wall. And if that's the case, then it may not be feasible to do. But he wanted to hear what anybody's thoughts were, if anybody had a strong objection to it.
I don't have an objection, but I agree with Ray that something needs to be put there for cars coming down, icy conditions, turning conditions. You cannot see getting out onto Wildwood Verona Road when McDermott's is in business. You can't. People, I watched somebody almost got hit last week, so.
The only other comment I have is, when we get down there with the fire engine, we try to make a left out Verona Road, we have to get down the opposite side of the island, because the dip, the front end of the truck hits.
Okay.
And we got hooks on there to protect that, but, so just watch the grades, and that is all I say,
Okay. The other thing I wanted to bring up, we have discussed in the past, and we actually took a couple steps forward on this month. The salt shed being where it is, we've discussed some different options about moving it, creating a new one, what to do. One of the options that was brought up that Matt and I have been researching is that Oakmont's salt shed holds 1,000 ton of salt. I had a meeting with the borough manager of Oakmont, the new one. They are willing to share space with us so that we wouldn't need to have our own salt shed. Basically, what we would do is, and we have to figure out the logistics of it, we would still get the COG pricing, whether we buy it directly from them and just store it there, or if we would pay as we go and just pay Oakmont for what we take, and then pay them a small storage fee. But overall, I mean, some of the options that we were looking at were gonna cost between $300,000 and $500,000 to do. This would be way less money. So, and it wouldn't be, I mean, we could always change it if it didn't work out and put something up, but in the meantime, it would open up that property down there and get rid of that building that's in pretty bad shape and give us another option. So if you guys are okay with it, they're working on a proposal to see exactly what they would like as far as numbers. And then if you guys are okay with it, we'll bring it back and see if it flies.
Where's their salt shed located?
It's on the bottom of Ann Street.
Okay.
It's huge.
They have a big facility down there.
It's massive. It's way bigger than they needed, but they had a grant. They got a grant and they just went crazy with it. And it'll hold 1,000 ton, where ours holds 150. So just to put that in perspective.
Yeah,
And it's covered,
I say,
Yep.
yeah.
so.
I think you need to pursue it.
All right, well, let's see what they say. And as long as the money works and it's not an outrageous amount of money and we're gonna have all the access and nothing like that. We did speak with our Public Works Department. We spoke with their Public Works Department to make sure everybody's gonna work well together. That's all. We just have to make sure everybody seems to be on board, everybody's okay with it. We just have to make sure that it's financially right and we're gonna have salt when we need it.
Good.
And that's all I have.
Thanks, Jerry. Mayor?
The only thing I have is, we talked about the parking lots to reseal them and pave, or do the line painting on them. There is money in the account, because that is a separate account, and we should move on that.
I actually, a couple weeks ago, spoke with somebody to come out and give me a bid, and he hasn't yet. But I'll follow up with him and get that, but I asked him for an estimate to do all 3 lots.
Yeah, that's what we always do.
So, yeah, I did act on that, but I'll follow up with him.
That's all I have at this time.
Oh, thank you. Just a few things here. The bike derby's coming up June 8th. I guess it's a little bit over a week or 2 here. How about the helmets? Are we okay with the helmets?
I haven't heard from them recently, but last I talked to them, everything was going fine.
Okay, ice and everything okay? Pat, Ray?
Yeah.
Okay, Sylvia, were you able to get bikes donated and,
I was going to do my report when you called on me.
oh, okay. Is this one of the bikes here?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually donated that one.
Oh, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
David, touch a truck set up for it. And the DJ is ready. I have a sign-up sheet here, if anybody would be interested. We need help with setting up and cleaning up, so I'm going to pass this around to council, and when it comes to you, Mrs. Lava, would you just circulate it out there? I'm going to take off those 2 sheets of paper there, Dawn.
What's that?
The 2 sheets, yeah. So they can,
Just this one?
yeah, just take that one off. They can, thank you. I'm also going to pass the donation basket like we did for the summer lunch program. We work strictly on donations. Everything that the Bike Derby puts out is a donation. So I would pass the basket again. Thank you. High Street. Walking the primary election, High Street is a mess, and I've got pictures here if anybody wants to see them. You cannot walk on the sidewalk. The weeds are taking over. The debris is littered from Parker Street all the way down to Union Street. The wall is cracked and holed and coming apart. There is a local artist here in Verona who said that if we would clean that section up and get that wall patched and sealed and whatever we have to do, that he would be willing to paint a mural on it. So I don't know if anybody wants to see these pictures. They were just taken today.
Does the railroad own the property behind the cannon, behind the Doughboy and behind that
That
wall?
was my understanding, David. You said they did.
They said they did, but the borough owns that property.
The borough owns
Well, no, it was given to the women's club from Pennsylvania Railroad
Okay.
back in the 30s. Because
The
railroad
branches are
claimed
laying
the
there.
war memorial and where the cannon is. They stopped work when myself and Mr. Hendricks and Mrs. Suchovich revamped that whole area. And Mr. Helsley went downtown and found the documents that the Pennsylvania Railroad donated that property to the Women's Club of Verona.
You know where the steps are.
Well, it's a disgrace.
Okay, you gotta go behind the steps.
Behind her.
Keep on going,
kind of
and then the road turns like
Just all kind of
that.
weeds.
So I don't know, Dom, the street department, I don't know when they clean that street.
So,
It doesn't look like it's
that's
been
just my
cleaned.
comments.
Which one?
High
High
Street,
Street.
between Parker and Union.
It's been a disgrace forever.
It is really a disaster.
I'll find out.
Whatever.
So if we could get that cleaned up, and David, I don't know who you got to look at the steps, but if that person could look at that wall as well and give us a bid on
He
it,
did. It was $3,500.
for that wall or for the
that's a-
steps?
Oh, you mean?
The wall with the painting you're talking.
You're thinking about where the mural is.
Yeah.
That's the high side
This
wall on
is
the other
the
side of High
wall
Street.
down further.
So
Yes, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
I mean, you cannot walk on the sidewalk, you have to walk on the street. The branches there, you can't walk on the branches, you have to walk over the branches. It's not a good, it's not conducive to safety. Just a few miscellaneous things here. And Craig is going to take care of this. We will be passing it when he comes at 8 o'clock after the public hearing. But the Live Well Allegheny Community Resolution's been passed. We declared our intent when the lady was here to give the speech. The resolution is done, so the last thing to do was to notify the director, which I had done today, both by a phone call and an email to her. So hopefully she got the message and knows that we're moving forward on this. The steps between Vogel's and First, that there was a lot of complaints about from a resident that lived up that way. I walked those steps as well, and the steps are okay, except that there is a lot of debris again on the steps. So I don't know if the street department, when they're cleaning First Street or Vogel's, that they can sweep up that debris there, because when it rains there, I think that could be a slippery mess for somebody, and there's nothing to grab onto. So the hand railing needs to go up, and I was just wondering if they could get that on their agenda.
Yeah.
I think with the school coming out now, more people are going to be walking, and that needs to be done.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
We were still up in arms, or we're up in the air, whether we were gonna keep them, gonna close them, we're gonna fix them. So I didn't wanna spend any money on it if they were gonna end up being closed.
Right.
I think they should be left open myself. I don't think the steps are that bad.
And there is nothing wrong with them, because the person I walked with said that they are okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if the debris, the weeds and that could be cleaned out, I know that there's somebody on North Avenue that's looking into more trees, tree revitalize. You know, trees could be planted on that hillside there.
Yeah.
Instead of the garbage shrubs and stuff that we have.
Okay.
The St. Joseph's Community Appreciation Day, which was May 19th, I believe, was a huge success. They had something like 30 vendors inside, very nice affair, free lunch like we do for the bike derby, and it was just a very nice affair. Penn Hills had their fire trucks there. I know our police car was there, our new police car. So I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. We also need to have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for April 9th and April 30th. So if I could ask somebody to make a motion to
I'll make
approve.
that motion.
Motion by Mr. Suchovich. Is
I'll
there a
second.
second?
I'll
Second by Mr. McCarthy. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. And that's all from me. Mr. Conti?
I don't have much other than that tree and the wires that are down right now on Church. The road department was called out, we called them out. They're up there. As soon as the power lines are removed, they'll get the tree out of there. We have to figure, I didn't get close enough to see where the tree came from, but that'll be another issue. If it's on that empty lot or...
It had just
someone's
come
front
down
yard.
at 6:15 when I was headed down, and I've got to say that the residents on Church Street, there were 3 of them, they were united on this. They ran down the road to see where it was, and they stopped me right at the top to tell me to go the other way. And the young fellow there said that until we got a barricade up there, that he was just going to stay and redirect the traffic, so...
So the chief just texted me a picture of the snapped pole. He said pole snapped from weight of tree on lines, several wires down, mostly cable and phone, 1 power line only. Only 2 buildings without power in the 700 block of Church between 3rd and 4th.
Okay.
The last time it went down, 3rd Street got hit too, the 600 block, so I don't know about that. Okay? That's it? Thank you. Mr. McCarthy?
Everybody got a copy of what we've come up with for the part-time police. Is there any questions? We've indicated that, we'll come up with 24 or 32 hours per week so that the officers work that, so that it's not just all part-timers will get the health care. It'll be the ones that work either the 24 or 32, whichever we come up with. And in 2020, sit down with Jerry before the new budget and figure out a percentage so that they each get a percentage raise each year from now on, instead of just
Waiting several years. and then
waiting
give
a
them
year
buck.
here, a year there, give them a percentage raise.
Is, whose idea was the cap it at $18?
We thought that this year and next year, at least this year, cap it at 18 to give the new sergeants an advance, and then the percentage would go into place for everybody.
I mean, that's why we're losing officers. We just hired an officer, and he's going to Harmer at $18 an hour.
Harmer has a bigger tax base.
Well, I mean, my guys are dissatisfied. They're going to be dissatisfied with that. They turned in what they would like, between $2 to $3 per person an hour.
Just can't do it right now.
But we ended up buying a $42,000 police car that we didn't need.
We needed a police car.
We needed a police car, but we didn't need the $42,000.
35,000, let's be honest though, okay? 35,000 came out of the general fund, and the other 7 came out of seizure money.
I thought it was 10.
Nope, it was 35,000 out of the general fund, and 7,000 of it came out of the seizure money from drug seizures that we've had. So we always spend 35 on a police car. So the extra 42 that we spent, the extra 7 that we spent did not come out of general fund money.
You know, I had asked also that on new hirees, they sign a contract for 1 year. If they get a full-time job, then they can get out of the contract.
I don't think we can do that,
You
David.
can do that.
Well, I
It
think...
was already discussed with the legal counsel, and they said, yes, you can.
Do you want somebody that's going to be here that's dissatisfied?
Well, we're not a training center, though.
We're
Just
not-
like this young kid, Paul. I mean, he wasn't even here 2 weeks, he went to Harmer.
Well, every place has a hard time right now hiring police.
You're absolutely right.
Nobody wants to be a police officer
You're absolutely right.
anymore.
They want to sit
So-
behind the desk and do the computers.
So, I mean, it's tough, no matter what. So
Monroeville,
we're trying to do the best we can.
either Murraysville or Monroeville, they're hiring 3, they got 23 applicants, usually they get over 100.
Absolutely.
For a full-time position, it's $70,000 a year to start.
Yep. I know.
I just think my guys deserve more than what we're giving them.
David, I don't think we're saying they don't deserve it. I think what we're saying is we can't afford to give them.
Well, we should have budgeted. I asked you all before the budget, don't forget my part-timers. I mean, we waited and waited. The full-timers, You gave them $2 an hour raise. I don't think they were worth $2. I think they were worth $5, and I told them that, and settled for no less than $3.50 to get up there where they are, where they should be.
There's a lot, you have to remember that the impact of giving somebody a $4 raise is not just this year. And that there are countless police departments and municipalities in this area that are forced to regionalize because they gave those guys too much money one year and then 3% a year compounded, and now their police force is unaffordable.
So,
I don't disagree with you that we have a really hard time getting guys. Now, you're talking about $1.50 an hour more for the part-time guys is what, $1.50?
It's about $1.50 to $1.60 an hour.
For here, for 1 year, and then, you know, working to put a 3% or whatever percent increase in the budget.
now,
Could we afford a $5, $4? We could figure out a way to pull money out of a different fund, but you know what, Dave, next year, maybe not. You gonna set yourself up for that? You're gonna set yourself up for 4 years from now, we can't make a budget?
you know,
We can't balance a budget because we're overspending?
and I don't have a problem with what we're paying our ordinance officer, but my officer did the ordinances, and he did one hell of a job, Officer Seiko. And like he said, I was still getting the same amount of money. There was never no increase. And we hired, somebody, and they're getting $24 an hour. And they're worth every bit of it. Don't get me wrong, they are. Mark does a fine job on what he does. Just as good as Bill, if not better.
But he does more than ordinance. He does building inspections.
I understand that.
Which Bill can't do. He doesn't do building inspections.
But Bill did 2 jobs. He had to juggle 2 jobs, and we didn't give him a dime more. Now, Steve, what's he making, Officer Stranovich?
18.
So he doesn't get no raise at all. He's been here 18 years, 17 years, as long as Jerry has. I think Jerry's been here 19 years, so he's almost this,
The sergeants are making more. If we take him up, he'll surpass the sergeants if we give them the raise. And we can't afford to do that.
Should this be something that's discussed in
Discussed in
exec
exec
session,
session.
salaries?
Yes, it should.
I think so.
it's their money.
Can I ask?
And a right to know request, they get, but there's certain things that personnel is supposed to be.
I mean, yeah, because we're bringing up things that aren't even on this sheet, David. I mean, this is what I'm looking at right here, and you're bringing up named people, so I have an issue with that.
Do we need to go into exec?
Yeah. Make a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to recess to exec
I'll second.
and come back.
And come back. Thank you. All those in favor? Accept.
Make a motion to return from exec session.
Can I have a second?
You're not-
All those
we're
in
not
favor,
ready for
please
you.
say aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
We're not ready.
He's telling me, I'm okay. I'm just taking the public hearing part.
Just a public hearing.
Okay.
All right, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to increase the salaries that we had discussed and to keep the new hires and for the present part-timers to 24 hours a week to maintain a healthcare after 1 year.
With the hours to be worked in percentages later, at a later time?
The percentage to be worked out in the budget for next year.
Okay. Okay, motion on the floor.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Suchovich.
The 2000 DCED audits filed, accepted by the auditors. They'll be back the first week of July to finish the 2018 audit. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Carpenter?
Okay, thanks. Updates from the ordinance meeting. There are a couple of hearings that are going on. I just want to let people know in case they're interested. There's one on the 5th of June on 702 4th Street at 12:35, correct? And there's another hearing for some regulated rental issues on the 20th of June at 10:35.
There's three of those.
Three of those, but not four.
But not four.
Okay, so this other one's going to be a different time,
What time is the June 5th?
at 12:35.
Right.
This, okay, well, I'll let you deal with that. The E-Code 360 is almost finished. We finally have dates for all of the ordinances that we were missing dates on. And so that will be completed in a few weeks. And Mr. Stanton is working on a letter to send out to the residents that he calls War on Weeds. And so that everybody will be getting. At this time, I had asked for a vote on advertising the ordinance regarding alcohol outside the dining areas in the borough and in the parks for special events. That has been advertised for the minimum of 7 days. So I'd like to make a motion now to adopt this ordinance. And if anybody needs another copy of it, I made a few extras in case you don't have your copy with you from last meeting. Does anybody need a copy? Great. So, I'm making that motion.
Okay, motion on the floor for the alcohol ordinance made by Dr. Carpenter. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, thank you. I also wanted, we're not going to finish this up right now, but I wanted us to start considering raising some of our fines for certain parking violations and so on and so forth. They're very low. We can go over this in our ordinance meeting, but I just wanted to let people know here on the council and the audience that we're considering some higher fees for parking violations, handicap, overtime parking, things like that. And we'll get back to you on that. And I have down here under my name discussion regarding farmers market, but I don't really need to do that since Stephanie is here during public comments, unless you guys want to hear from Stephanie now. She's gonna, oh, no, well.
Let's do that afterwards. We can get
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it after the hearing. Okay, so we'll wait and hear from Stephanie after the hearing, and I believe that's all I have.
Thank you.
Just real quick, the fourth one that you referenced, we got the hearing notice in the mail today. And- Excuse me, and that's scheduled for June 27, 2019 at 10:35 a.m. at Judge DeLucas.
10:35, okay.
June 27th.
June 27.
Okay, thanks.
So June 5th is 12:30, June 20th is 10:35, and June 27th is 10:35.
Right, it's not, he does it on the 5th, I think, so it's 12:35.
Okay. Okay, Mrs. Loaba.
I spoke with Paul Shelf from the pickleball little organization, and he gave me his breakdown of the equipment that needs to be ordered. Jerry, I'd like to work with you. We did approve that last meeting.
Yep.
Get it ordered. He said he will help, and he has another guy that will help do lines, but our borough guys may have to help with that. He said if we have any kind of paint other than white to color lines, he said yellow would be good. I think we might have yellow for...
Yeah, I'm sure we have yellow.
Okay, so they'll help with that and go forward with the, and they're
that'll
willing
be it
to
with the-
teach, they're willing to do, whatever, to really, all ages, open it up to all ages. They would like court times in the mornings and possibly in the evening, so we'll maybe have to work out some type of permit for that to see, how we'll work with that too, so, to get the people to.
Oh, a permit for their, like,
for
their club or
their-
whatever.
Right.
Okay.
And this, so they can set their court times and for their organization.
This will only be at Riverbank Park?
Riverbank Park, at the tennis court. The conversion of the tennis court into pickleball.
Thank you.
And we'll still be able to use tennis as well, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Mrs. Provenza?
Yes. Newsletter, anyone having articles or ads, I need them by June 14th, and shortly after that, we'd like to go to print so that newsletter will be ready and in your mailboxes very first week of July. I also attended the St. Joseph's Community Appreciation Day up at our St. Joseph's Church up here. I thought it was very well attended, well organized, and many, many tables with lots of wonderful things there, so I was pleased to be there. Also, as Sandy mentioned, Bike Derby is going to be Saturday, June the 8th. I have been working on donations, and currently I am waiting for an answer from Target and Walmart. And I did get a donation from Nick Fatulis. He gave a generous donation, our county councilman. Also, I donated a bicycle, and if anybody would like to donate, we're certainly taking donations now. And I don't have a completed list of donations because our chief is out on a line that came down, so I don't have the full coverage. But I've given you what I have at this moment. Thank you.
And there's letters up here if anybody cares to make a donation for your tax income tax at the end of the year. Thank you, Mrs. Provenza.
You're welcome.
Okay,
So we have a few moments before 8 o'clock. Does the farmer's market person want to speak for a few minutes?
okay,
You're up.
you're up.
Hello. I sent an email this morning. I don't know if any of you have got it or got a chance to read it.
Yeah, I did.
If you have any questions, I am new to this. Patty Thomas did a wonderful job and did all the legwork on everything, so everything seems to kind of be going smoothly as far as it's going. I have been in contact with a few other vendors who have reached out to me that want to also join this year as well. Some new changes new changes would be, we're going to try to add 1 to 2 food trucks in the beginning of the month on those Thursdays. We've had a few comments that the community would like to have food trucks on other days than just the roundup. So I'm working with other food vendors to see what we can get. So far, Smokehouse Barbecue is scheduled to come in July. My Pita Shawarma is kind of going back and forth with me, so we're hoping that they can come in June. He kind of wants to be the only vendor so he can get all the business, so we'll see how that works out. Other than that, any thoughts, questions, or concerns so far?
Do you have any more than one farmer? Or is it-
Yes, there are 2 farmers. Heritage Farm?
Marshall's.
Marshall's Farm, yeah.
He's a local, he lives in Oakmont, but he wanted to come last year, so he'll come this year.
So, yeah,
Okay.
there will be 2 farmers.
Wonderful.
There's also another woman that I'm in talks with who does herbs and things like that she would like to come down and sell as well. I told her it might be a little bit of a conflict because she wanted to do some produce as well, but she has other items that she can do. So, looks like we're going to have another good season and continue to do the work that Patty did.
I want to thank you for taking that over,
Yeah.
because it's a big job, I understand
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
You, in your email, said that you were concerned about us closing East Railroad.
Right.
So I guess my concern is the trucks and that and Dawn, maybe you can answer this. I mean, Gina, does the ground get torn up?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
This
Okay.
is an odd thing that we've been discussing in the office. I think that the solution to that is that Schramm's is gonna have to park in this parking lot along the field, because Schramm's truck is tearing up the field.
okay.
Yeah, I think that was an agreement as well, that
All right.
Shams would move. But as far as, that was my concern for closing the road. My clients rely on that road, I rely on that road. It is rush hour and during a weekday, so if we can avoid that as much as possible, that would be fantastic.
Right.
Other than that, I think this is gonna be a good year.
Thank you.
I would just say regarding the farmers' shrams, I mean, Larry's a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever you put him, people will go to him. I don't know necessarily that it's the truck so much as where all
They're
the
walking.
people are walking back and forth. So however we position them, we need to have it so that they're either walking on the concrete or walking on the sidewalk.
Would it help if he had like some mats to put down? Would that,
Well, he's on the asphalt, it won't matter.
okay.
You know, but then maybe we want to think about the other farmer also being somewhere where they
We
won't.
generally have both farmers, like, in all the years that it's been gone on, there have been 2 farmers last year.
In the past.
Yeah, in the past there have been, and they've tried to keep them kind of close together so you can go from one to the other. So if we can do that, and
Yeah.
I'll get in touch with Larry and
Yeah.
tell him we're gonna move him.
Yeah.
I don't
Stephanie,
think he'll have a problem.
On your food trucks, don't forget our Verona's barbecue company here.
Verona-
coming in, Oakmont
Verona Barbecue Company.
No, I mean, one is coming into Verona.
Yeah, no, yeah, Oakmont's, yeah.
Gotta take care of our own.
Yes. Well, have you been in contact? Is Oakmont Barbecue gonna be one?
He's right there.
Oh, okay, hello.
Yes, they confirmed for the 27th. The round trip is still considered the 27th. It's Steph that said she kind of wanted to randomly put more in because people liked it in the beginning, and we're gonna do that maybe in July.
So if that's something you guys would want to do, there are more Thursdays open up, you can get in contact with me. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just want to caution that we don't have too many food trucks.
No.
It's not the food truck roundup.
No, we are,
Because that could take away from the other vendors also.
our aim is 1 to 2 food trucks at 2 food trucks at most,
Yeah.
but just one to satiate the
Yeah.
community, and then you have the big boomer at the end of the month. But just something, so somebody can grab a quick bite to eat and be on their way.
One thing
Thank you.
I will bring up though is last year, the parking, we used the lot that's across from, I want to say it's
Ian Miller's.
Millers?
Ian Miller.
but that also, we bring trucks in that way, so we were actually moving trucks, or we were moving cars last year to get the trucks in. So we have to make sure that that's blocked off appropriately, but there is parking across the street in that empty lot, we just didn't have it really, we really have to advertise it that way, I think, like additional parking, because we want to bring more people in. Something to think about.
Where's center traffic? Just about.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are they okay?
Okay, a motion to adjourn to public hearing?
Yeah, right.
Right into it.
Right.
Okay.
You're
Just
still in the
say
middle of your
something going
meeting.
on.
Okay.
That's a great segue to go right into the public hearing on the Oakmont barbecue, so we're going to go on the record at this point.
We're gonna do public comment
There'll be
after.
more public comment.
You gotta go, that's why I just wanna.
Okay, real quick, go ahead, sorry, Tim.
I just really want to know about the board, about the flyer that we send you guys for the advertisement for
Right,
the
so
Parks and Recs.
council has to decide on a process on how to handle that. And at this point, I don't think they have a solution yet.
On the what?
We should just pay for it and take it out of the registration fees, because that's gonna hurt our fundraising.
We got to do this public hearing right now. I mean, we don't have time to talk back and forth on what might happen. I mean, if you guys can stay at the end of the meeting, I'm sure we can work that issue out. It's only going to be probably 10, 15 minutes that we're going to be here. Okay, so we're going to go on the record. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, so this is the day and time that we've scheduled for a public hearing on a request from the Oakmont Barbecue Company, LLC. They've requested the approval of the Borough of Verona for the proposed transfer of a Pennsylvania liquor license, it's a restaurant liquor license, number R-3404. By Oakmont Barbecue Company LLC to restaurant facilities within Verona Borough to be located at 549 Allegheny River Boulevard, Verona, Allegheny County, PA 15147. It's coming from JL and RB Storms LLC, formerly trading and doing business as Storms Restaurant and Catering, 429 Forbes Avenue basement, Fourth. Thank you, 4th Avenue basement, Pittsburgh, PA 15219, with the understanding that said transfer must be approved at a later date by the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board. Is the applicant here? Thank you. If you could come forward, please, and state your name for the board and the court reporter.
Ken Shields.
And Mr. Shields, are you the principal in Oakmont Barbecue LLC?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Explain to the board what you want to have happen here.
So recently purchased property at 549 Allegheny Boulevard. My intent for that property is to make it a fast casual, family-oriented barbecue restaurant. Indoor, outdoor seating. I plan on hiring locally. I plan on using as many local contractors as possible to do the build-out. The reason for the liquor license, I just think that beer and barbecue go really well together. But one other thing is, I want to limit the hours of operation up to like Wednesday through Sunday, and like lunch and dinner, and close 9, 10 at the latest on a Saturday, maybe, or Friday. I don't want it to be a hangout bar. I want it to be primarily a restaurant for the community.
So you plan on serving beer and alcohol?
Beer and wine.
Beer and wine?
Is my, it's a full restaurant license, but
Right.
I just want to do beer and wine.
Okay. Carry out?
And some carry out.
Okay. Does the board have any questions of the applicant?
When do you expect to be able to open?
Well, so working on, I got some preliminary architectural drawings, if you'd like to see them. Engineers working on the MEP drawings. So once we have those, then we can start getting, submitting for a permit to get, to get started. Hopefully, and this is probably ambitious, I'm hoping to be open by Labor Day.
Yeah, cool.
Wonderful.
If anybody would like to see the architectural drawings.
That'd be great if you could bring that up.
There's a parking, layout for parking.
And while they're doing it, I apologize, there's some folks here that are new to the meeting room. My name's Craig Alexander, I'm the solicitor for the Borough of Verona, and I'm here to conduct the public hearing with regard to the liquor license transfer.
Bless you.
Does any other board member have any questions of the applicant? Is there any member of the public that would wish to offer any public testimony either for or against the proposed transfer, or have any questions of the applicant?
I'd offer my support.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Ready for barbecue.
There's a question.
I notice a lot of support. I'm not going to ask whether there's any opposition.
I might have more specific questions for us, but.
Okay.
Carrie, do you have a question?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to be called Over the Rails?
No, that's not the architect, but the, so, it's gonna be, right now, I'm thinking of calling it Off the Rails, like a food truck, Oakmont Barbecue Off the Rails, and then,
Okay, cool.
that's the, that could change, but that's, I'm not gonna operate as Oakmont Barbecue Company. The food truck will continue to be Oakmont Barbecue Company.
Okay.
But you'll have a different name here?
I'm sorry?
You'll have a different name?
Yeah, I'm thinking of operating as Off the Rails. So it might be a DBA. I did file I did create another LLC that's owned by Oakmont Barbecue Company LLC, but I'm not sure if that's going to work, because I don't know if I have time to change the, it might have to do with DBA, because I don't know if I can change the liquor license at this point. I don't want to delay anything any further.
Are your architects related to the superintendent of the school district?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Yes.
Again, that's just a kind of a, it's not necessarily set in stone, but the inside probably is, yeah, more space.
I have one question. You're staying within the confines of the building itself right now?
Yes.
You're not expanding the building in any way?
No.
At this point? you
No, the
haven't-
footprint, at this point, the building would remain the same footprint, and then outside where the garage bays are would be, I'd like to level that area and put picnic tables.
Okay.
Maybe a pergola or something down the road, or
How many people will it hold?
with the current drawings, inside, there's a small bar with 6 seats. And and then I think there's 34 total seats inside. I think we can get more in there. I think we can get more seating inside. It's a small building. You got to carve out space for 2 ADA bathrooms and kitchen. So I was hoping for 50 seats, but it probably not. Maybe 40.
Lots of luck to you.
Thank you. And then outdoor, as he has it drawn now, there's seating for like 80 plus. Picnic tables or whatever. Probably a combination of picnic tables and round tables.
Wonderful.
What about the parking?
So there's the way he has it laid out now, there'll be like room for 18 parking spaces, and then and again, I think we'll probably get a couple more in there, but and then I'm not sure what's happening with James Street, if that's going to get, you're putting a light in there, right? And then
No, it's Wildwood.
Wildwood.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So is James going to get blocked off, and could that be additional parking there, or is James going to remain open once that light is?
You mean Jones Street?
Is it Jones? No, James.
You mean the one that goes to the small little road?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any intention there now for that being blocked
Okay.
off.
Okay.
Around the old municipal building.
And the hours, Wednesday through Saturday or Sunday?
Well, so I mean, it might initially be maybe when we first open, it might be like a Thursday through Sunday, and again, without knowing what I don't know, yeah, probably gonna, because Wednesday might have been a prep day, and then for the week, and then Monday, Tuesday, our days off.
So like you said, lunch and dinner?
Lunch and dinner, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody have any further questions of the applicant, board or public?
Just for him or in general?
Just for him. Well, you can, in general, whatever you have.
I'll wait until he's done, that's fine.
Okay. We'll be back to public comment with regard to the meeting, but right now we're dealing with the Oak Blunt Barbecue liquor transfer. Thank you. With there being no other comment, we would close the public hearing at this time. Madam President, a motion would be in order to either approve or deny a resolution of the Borough of Verona, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving the transfer of restaurant liquor license number R-3404 into Verona Borough from the city of Pittsburgh.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the resolution of the Borough of Verona, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving the transfer of restaurant liquor license number R-3404 into Verona Borough from the city of Pittsburgh?
Make that motion.
Motion
second.
by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mr. McCarthy. Are there any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
Congratulations. You hang out, we're going to sign two of these resolutions, so you'll have an original that you can send into the Liquor Control Board.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
As long as Paul and Vanessa don't come in too often, we're okay with it, okay?
I'll be working there.
We're turning you in.
That's Tom Jerry. We can do the other one later.
A lot of exciting things happening in town with the Inner Groove and the cider house.
All right, so during this little interlude, remind everybody that Thursday next week is the first farmer's market. Next Friday is the first movie in the park down here called Minions, and then Saturday is the bike derby. So 3 things in a row, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, all right.
Well, resolution?
Yeah, the resolution for the living well.
This is mine, but you correct.
We need to do
Well resolution.
Oh,
the
okay.
resolution.
What do you guys do?
Is that this one?
It's this one.
Train 1 second.
Second time. It's a train.
What's today's date?
Today's date is the 28th.
28th.
Twice in an hour.
Say tornadoes.
Okay, here, you can have this one, and we'll sign another one. Do we have a number for this, Jerry?
A number? No, off the top of my head, I don't.
We'll give him that in the morning.
Yep.
Ken, you can have this. We'll call you in the morning with the resolution number. Okay, so you can just put it in that blank right there. Perfect, thank you. Okay, there's one other item that I have. Madam President. It's a resolution of the Borough of Verona, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, indicating the intent of Verona Borough to work along with Allegheny County to accomplish the goals of the Live Well Allegheny campaign. And just so the public's aware, this is a new program. It's not real new. They started in 2014, but it's becoming more and more, people are becoming more and more aware of it, and more communities are adopting into it. Sort of like the Banner community was started many years ago, but Verona Borough began, about 5 years ago?
Yeah.
In it, and as time progresses, more and more communities have opted into the Banner community. This is similar to that, where you establish goals within the community to endeavor to work towards with the hope of living well and advancing that the campaign within the community. Do you have something you want to mention with regard to that?
Just some information that it started in 2014, 5 municipalities, boroughs joined on. 2015, 17, 2016 was 21. Then it started falling off. In 2017, there were 7, and then in 2018, only 9. So the goal was to get all 130 municipalities and boroughs to join in for Allegheny County. So we're just right on the bandwagon with them. Something else that I thought was interesting is in Allegheny County, the rates of chronic disease such as diabetes, respiratory disease, and cardiovascular disease exceed the national levels. So this is just something to get more of a spotlight on health and kind of get on the program with recording data and according county data especially.
Okay, so motion would be in order to adopt the Live Well Allegheny campaign resolution.
Can I have a motion to adopt the resolution for Live Well Allegheny campaign?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mrs. Provenza, second by Mrs. Loalbo. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Public comment.
Thank you. Back to public comment. Mr. Long. Mr. Floto.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Yeah, we just been trying to get our next borough event, which is coming up June 30th, up on that billboard, because we saw the farmers markets up there, Tanner's coffee shops up there.
Cannon Coffee paid to be up there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll pay to be up there, but we have registration fees. It'll come out of the funds that we've raised already.
So the reason, just so everybody understands on council, I sent this email to everybody throughout this month, after they sent me the flyer that they want to go up, that we needed to make some sort of decision on how to handle this. With a lot of borough events, we have 45 minutes a day to use. How do we want to divvy it up? Does council need to have an approval for this? We need to have a process on how it works. The reason the farmer's market is up there is because Steel City Billboards reached out to Patty Thomas to ask her if they could put something up there. That was not, we did not initiate that at all. They actually reached out to her to try to get something up. So, we would need to come up with some sort of process, some sort of policy on what goes up, who approves it, who decides.
Is that an ordinance that has to be developed now that we have the digital billboard?
It's more just a
You could
policy.
develop a policy. I mean, I would think that that would be something that the borough manager could do in conjunction, could pull council or whatever, but the ultimate authority would be Jerry, along with, the same way we do with the texting.
Okay, so.
Vince, is your event a rec board event or a Lower Valley?
It's
Little
a
League?
rec board event. It's been a rec board event for 3 years. It was approved.
So with that being borough business, do we want to just go along with it? Because, I mean,
if that's what council wants, we just haven't had anybody do this yet.
Right.
So I wasn't gonna make that decision without any sort of guidance.
okay.
Yeah, I understand
Is
that.
anybody
I can
in
have it up
opposition
tomorrow.
to getting, we're off the record now, we can be,
Yeah.
I
It's
think
all
we should
sponsors
go ahead
are
and
on
do it,
fire
but
and
then
everything.
come up with
A policy.
A policy.
Yeah,
so we'll make sure yours gets on.
yes, absolutely.
And for the future, we're gonna need the wrestling event on there also.
Right.
So I just.
Just get a hold of Jerry when the time comes.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll send it to him tonight, have him put it up.
So,
Could this be done at some
No,
point?
this one's for you, because they filled in the bocce pit up there.
Yeah.
But you guys put a lot of rocks in there, and the kids are just throwing them all over the field. The lawnmower's just beating them up, just throwing them, there's shards everywhere. People are gonna start getting hurt, because there's just big rocks all over the park.
Okay.
So I just wanna let you guys know that, get it fixed. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Vince. Or Tim.
That's him.
They look alike.
Okay, public comment?
I just have a question.
Can you come to the podium, please?
No, it concerns sort of kind of what
Sir,
Ken's doing. Yes, sir.
just state your name and address.
Oh, Joshua Neese from Stonewall Cider House.
Thank you.
Not necessarily open on barbecue because you have your own spot now, but if I, as a business, wanted to invite another food truck to actually park on Allegheny River Boulevard, I was curious as to which one of you, or if there's an application process that I should follow to do that.
So, we did a food truck ordinance last year. Allegheny River Boulevard, it was, council determined that Allegheny River Boulevard should not have food trucks on it.
Okay.
Because of the width.
Yeah.
Besides that, reach out to me or the borough office. We have an application to do all that stuff.
Maybe we can do it somewhere else, or figure something out, some parking
Maybe on
lot
South
or-
Avenue or something, so it's closer to you. But Allegheny River Boulevard, they determined because of the width of it, it just wasn't safe.
Not feasible. People around too much on it. All right. I was just curious about that. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, Jessica Verona, 722 Bruno. I have a question about the garbage contract that was approved during the last meeting. I know that because I was there, I know that, actually I didn't stay till the end, but watch the video. It was a long meeting. That it was approved that we're gonna get a new garbage service provider, but I don't think most of the community is aware, and I know that this involves a change to the recycling, where they won't be able to accept glass and all of the plastics that people are currently recycling now. Noble said that they were gonna provide some education. I just was wondering when that was happening, or what information would be made available to the public and when?
So, I just talked to Matt today. Noble sent something out Friday.
This Friday, they're gonna send something?
They already did.
Oh, they already
sent it out
sent
last Friday. We're assuming that's why it hasn't hit the people yet. But it is on its way with all the education and saying when it is. Matt forwarded to me the verbiage, which is gonna go on our social media page and our website and the trib.
About a half an hour ago.
And I'm gonna talk to Curtis about doing something in the text messaging to let everybody know.
Okay, yeah, as soon as, I mean, if you can give that information to me, I'd be happy to help spread the word as well, because I think it's going to be important for people to know.
I'll forward it to you.
That'd be great, thank you.
So tomorrow's our last day for waste management then?
Yeah. June 1st is the day.
Yeah.
Thursday.
It'll be Thursday.
It'll be Thursday.
Yeah, today's
Thursday
Tuesday.
because of Memorial Day. It's-
Well, yeah, right, okay, thank you. But in that letter that they're sending out, they're gonna tell us what day it is, I presume.
Yep. Yeah, all that information's in there, and it'll be out.
I know this is time for public comment, but I have a question also. Go board. Can bring that up. I just wondered whether we could get the movie in the park on there and the bike derby on there.
Yeah.
The movie in the park is at dusk, the bike derby is 11 to 1.
Yeah, I'll forward him the information and get it all.
Rec board people, do we have like some kind of design for movies in the park?
I'd ask her.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Nancy, I'd be happy to add, I'm gonna add a whole bunch of stuff to the website in the next couple of days.
Yeah, because this is our busy season, we have a lot of
Yes, very
things
busy,
going on.
I know.
Okay.
I've been online with them a lot.
Got it?
Okay. Is that it? Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Mr. Conti, is there a second by Mrs. Provenza? Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. I'd like to thank everybody for their cash donations. We haven't even added it up yet.
What's that?
You didn't know about that.